And the Kerala government is all set to introduce bill curbing the powers of the Chancellor, Governor in the university campuses. The university Vice-Chancellor appointments in this session itself will see these changes. This amid the row over Governor staying the appointment of Chief Minister's Secretary wife as the professor at Kannur University. You remember that there's some kind of friction that continues to go on between the Kerala Governor and the government concerned over certain appointments, the manner in which the universities are regulated, and hence, in that regard, there is a bill that the government may very, very soon bring. The Kerala government is all set to introduce a bill curbing powers of the Chancellor or the Governor in the university. The Vice-Chancellor appointments in this session itself will be affected. Multiple states, including Calcutta, including the state of West Bengal, including the state of Gujarat. There are various states across the country who have brought in such bills, and this is largely over the tiff that you see between the governor and the state government. Though constitutionally that's not the scheme, but governor is often seen as some kind of a siding with the union government, with the central government. And in this case, Arif Mohammed Khan has been in a direct conflict with the Kerala government over various issues. Pradeep Pillai is joining us on the broadcast. Pradeep, help us understand what this bill really is about and the context in which this entire bill is being brought.
Well, the bill to be introduced in the ongoing session of the Kerala Assembly, in effect, curbs the powers of the Chancellor, which means the Governor. Only the Chancellor had the upper hand in deciding who's going to be the next Vice Chancellor of the universities in Kerala, wherein a panel would have to be submitted to him. Even the search committee will have a nominee of the Governor, and it was up to the Governor to choose whom he pleases. As you would rightly mentioned, a conflict has been going on between the Governor of Kerala and the government of Kerala, especially over the appointment of an associate professor to the University of Kannur. The appointee is the wife of K.K. Ragesh, former MP and currently Private Secretary to the Chief Minister of Kerala. So it was alleged that she had the minimum of research score in the table, and however, after the interview, she got the maximum marks and she was given the rank number 1. And the appointment process was on when the Governor intervened following complaints, and he, in fact, froze this appointment and ordered an inquiry into the entire proceedings. He also sought a clarification from the members of the syndicate as well as the Vice-Chancellor. And we must also note that the Governor, as Chancellor, has the powers to even sack the Vice-Chancellor if he pleases so. So it was in this contest that the entire thing became political. The CPM, for the first time, openly alleged that the Governor is acting as a tool of the BJP as well as the Modi administration. Now, this infuriated the Governor, who is right now mulling setting up a high-power committee to look into all the appointments that happened in the universities over the last 3 years, that is, from the time he took over as Chancellor and Governor of Kerala. It is in this background that the state government is also, moving a bill in the Assembly to curb the powers of the Chancellor, which means the Governor in the appointments of Vice-Chancellors. The Governor's stand is that the government wants freedom to appoint the relatives and family members of those in power. And he says that is politics and not what he is doing. He said he's trying to clean up the universities and get it, free of nepotism and corruption.
Absolutely. Pradeep, please stay with us on the broadcast. Mr. KJ Alphons is also joining us on the broadcast. So thank you so much for joining us on the show. Your view on the Kerala government mulling to get this bill, and this directly curtails the power of the Governor, or who's the Vice-Chancellor of the university in the state of Kerala right now. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the government of Kerala wants to do two things. One, take away the power of the Chancellor, that is the Governor, to appoint Vice-Chancellors. That's number one. And I think number two, they would want the Governor to be removed from the position of Chancellor of the universities. The Governor, by legislation, is a Chancellor of all the universities. Why do they want to do this? I think it's very simple. They want basically party mouthpieces to be Vice-Chancellors. If the Vice-Chancellors are party cadre people, of course, they can do all kinds of nonsense in the universities, which they are in any case doing now. Appointments, if you look at the list of appointments in any of the universities in Kerala, you will see that they are all basically party cadres. So it's basically making the universities red because it's the communists who are in power. I think it's a complete shame in a state like Kerala, where education was, it's the most educated state in the country, where the quality of education was good, and it's extremely saddening to see this kind of things happening. As Principal Secretary Higher Education, I was on the syndicate of all universities. And all the syndicate members used to be party cadres, and I had such huge problem bringing any kind of sanity into anything that is done in the university. So it started a long time ago.
Mr. Alphons, one of the key worries has been, and this is something that we have witnessed in other states as well, and this has been the unfortunate nature of the evolution of Indian politics, that the office of governor, which is expected to be a constitutional office, has in some way turned political. That is what various state parties are, saying. That's what the Kerala government is saying, that the governor is acting at the behest of the union government and pursuing a political agenda. How do you respond to that?
That's completely wrong. The Kerala governor is an extremely sensible person. He all his life he stood for principles. And when the Shabanu case came up and Rahul Gandhi government, Rajiv Gandhi government wanted to amended the law. He quit the government, quit being a minister, threw away everything in politics, and he was in the wilderness. So he's the kind of man who stands for principles, for ideals, for probity in public life. So he has a reputation of being what he is. So if the communists accuse him of saying he is politicizing universities, politicizing Kerala Democrat, I think it's completely wrong. Completely wrong.
All right, Mr. Alphons, I appreciate you giving us your time here on the broadcast. Thank you so much for speaking to us. My colleague Neetu Regukumar tracking all the developments from the ground. Neetu, coming to you.